Use the referral link in the description to g2a.com for all of your Xbox codes, PlayStation codes and video games, and be sure to use the code CHES at checkout to get yourself 3% cash back. Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of season 5 in the career mode RTG. You've given me a number of suggestions for central midfield and for goalkeeper. There are a few calls to replace Gertruida at the centre-back position, but I'm quite happy to continue with him at present. Yes, his rating isn't that high, but his effectiveness in-game is very good. 77 stand tackle, 84 sprint speed, 79 acceleration, 78 strength. He is very, very good for me in-game. I'm not looking to replace him at this particular moment in time. Perella, 78 rated, obviously good enough for the Premier League. Then we have Watmore and Harrison can play at centre-back with Greg Taylor, who's only 60 rated, I admit. I'm quite happy for the time being with those positions. We do have our young 6'7", centre-back Bailey, perhaps to call upon once he turns 16. Potential of 90 to 94 for him now, and obviously we're going to be training him quite significantly because he looks like he could be incredible. If he could get 94 rated at 6'7", genuinely the best centre-back in the world, IMO. But as we mentioned, we're looking for centre-mid. There was a few calls actually to start Elliot Lee in that centre-mid spot and not buy another player. I'll tell you why that's not my plan. Technically, he does look good. 82 ball control, 82 dribbling, 90 long shots, 91 short passing, 87 stand tackle. Very, very good. But physically, he's dead. Not very agile, not that good balance. Reactions are low, strength is kind of low. In game, he feels clunky and slow and not suitable to play alongside someone like Elliot Hill, who is also got low agility and low balance. So I need someone that's kind of more energetic, more of a box-to-box midfielder to go alongside Oscar Hill. So for the time being, Lee is going to play until we get that new centre mid. Then he'll come out and go onto the bench. I want to give him another year to try and improve his physicals before we contemplate starting him week in, week out. So I've got my shortlist. Obviously, a number of players we're having to scout before being able to make a definitive judgment. A few players we know the ratings of. By far, the most popular suggestion with goalkeeper was Dean Henderson at Manchester United. Don't know anything about him. Don't know what he's valued at, but he was easily the most popular suggestion. So he, even before we've even got going, is the prime target. We'll have to wait and see what he actually looks like stat-wise, but he's 6'3", so can't be that bad. Then we've Bailey Peacock Farrell, who's English. Sorry, rephrase. He's Northern Irish, but he's out at Deportivo Alaves currently. No idea if he's any good. 6'4". Nick Pope, the former Burnley goalkeeper, is 30 years of age now and at Sassuolo. I would be open to bringing him back to English football at 30 years of age, which would give the opportunity for Green, our young goalkeeper, to continue to grow. And obviously, we'd still use Mitov as a backup. Nick Pope is a genuine option. No, he's not. He's just moved to Sassuolo, so I can't sign him. Scrap that. That's annoying. Joel Pereira. He's just gone to Deportivo as well. Although I could pay his release clause of 8.5. So that's okay. Have to keep an eye on that, I think. Joel Pereira is obviously another Manchester United goalkeeper that you guys recommend. Then we've Matt Macy of Arsenal. I know nothing about him. Angus Gunn is decent for Southampton. Wait to see how he's grown. Jordan Archer, I know nothing about him. He's got a really low release clause, which leads me to believe that either A, it's done that contract glitch thing, or he's grown really well, but his release clause has stayed low, or he's just not that good. We will wait and see. Currently playing in the Eredivisie for Heerenveen. With Danny Ward of Leicester. Used to be at Liverpool, I think, maybe. And then with regards to CDM roles or centre mid role, scouted Declan Rice at Norwich. Obviously could play at centre back as well. Guendouzi at Arsenal. Someone like Lucas Torreira would be well out my price range and unrealistic right now. But Guendouzi's still young. And provided he's 83 or lower, I would consider signing him. Not sure how much first team football he's been getting at Arsenal. Whenever we played Arsenal in other series, he hasn't been playing. We obviously haven't. Actually, we did play Arsenal in this save in the cup, but I simmed it and we lost. And I don't think Guendouzi was involved. With Matthew Smith, currently at Preston. I don't believe he starts there, but we'll wait and see what his stats look like. Then we've still got Harry Cochrane here, of course. We've Curtis Jones, 3-star, 3-star at Liverpool. No, nothing of him. Tom Davies intrigues me, very much so. Everton in real life. He's 24 years of age. He's currently playing at Hertha Berlin, who we actually had in pre-season. His physicals do look good. Decent stamina, good agility, good balance, okay speed-wise, 90 aggression, 87 short pass, 79 stand tackling, great dribbling. Not overly expensive, considering we have a £50+ million budget currently. Tom Davies is my front runner for a central midfield position as things stand. Going to scout Cameron Brannigan again just to see if he's grown any more. With Morgan Gibbs-White, who we were previously interested in earlier on in our career, but he was out of our price range. Now he's very much within our price range. Could we go back to him again? We'll have to wait and see. Not the best strength, not the best jumping, but he's fairly agile. Balance is still 70, so could be improved upon, but he's only 22, and he's got 4-star skills as well, so that goes in his plus column rather than his minus column, or pros column rather than his cons column. Weston McKennie, I didn't know the name, but my God, he looks incredible. 84 rated, so I'm not going to go for him because he's kind of too much of a step up on what we've already got at this stage of the series. I'm leaning towards still, like I said, domestic players just for this first season in the Premier League. Someone mentioned the fact that Fulham and Wolves came up from the Championship and they signed loads of foreign talent, which is correct, but our progression to the Premiership and our size as a club is more in line with Bournemouth than it is Wolves or Fulham. Wolves and Fulham are both bigger clubs that have a history, especially Wolves, massive club. And Bournemouth are more like Cambridge, where they've come from the lower leagues and just somehow found themselves in the Premier League after a couple of good seasons. And they've tended to buy more domestic. So I'm going to follow that business plan for now. And then next season, providing on where we finish in the Premier League, we'll look further afield and at higher rated players. I don't want to just, because I've got 50 million, go out and buy like 286 rated players and be like, great, we're in the Premier League, because that's a little bit too far-fetched. Maitland-Niles is a player I'm looking at, though. He's currently at Bournemouth, speaking of. Lewis Cook, formerly of Bournemouth, now at Lyon, 84 rated. Probably, again, slightly one step too high from where we're looking right now. But I would consider him next season, perhaps. Ryan Ledson, we're scouting him. He's at Preston currently. Has played at Cambridge in real life on loan for a season in the past. Scott McTominay always comes up in career mode when looking at a central midfielder from the UK. But as you can see there, his physicals are really poor. Agility and... I don't know why I said agility. Agility and balance are really low. And he's probably going to feel in game similar to how Elliot Lee does. So I don't really see the point in buying a player that's similar to a player that I'm not that keen on using at this stage. So I'm going to steer away from Scott McTominay. Luke Amos, a little bit better physically. Not very fast, but agile and decent balance. Passing's okay, tackling's okay. 75 rated is not a world beater, that's for sure, but potential. Marco van Ginkel is 29 now in game. Don't know what his stats are going to look like, but he could be a good player to kind of, like we did with Ryan Leonard, where we kind of used him for a season to kind of let the other youngsters improve. Van Ginkel could help extend that period because he's 29, and then maybe by the time he turns 30 next year, then Elliot Lee will be able to step up into the role in central midfield. We'll wait and see. John McGinn was also a popular option, currently at Aston Villa. Mason Mount was in the list as well. It's more of a cam than a centre mid. Decent physicals, to be fair. Very good physicals. And technically looks good too. But I am looking for more of an all-rounder. And he isn't that good in the tackle at all. So I'm not sure. With only 51 strength, he can't really use his physicality to win the ball off people either. So there are certainly better options out there than Mason Mount. But of course, we're looking to get those scout reports back first. So we shall continue to push a little bit further forward and play our first game of the season. On the transfer list, I have nobody at present. So my transfer budget stands at £57.43 million this particular moment in time. We have Crystal Palace in a week's time. I'll play that as our first ever game in the Premier League, and obviously I'll play Manchester United as well, and we'll sim Watford and Nottingham Forest. Obviously, Mitov is only 68 rated, so he's probably not going to be any good in the simulated games, but in the played games, I don't see any reason why he can't do a job for me. He's certainly not shown any sign of weakness thus far in his career at Cambridge, so we shall wait and see if he can hold his own, at least to some extent, in the Premier League. Mitov at 68 was better than Billy Hughes at 75, so that says everything for Mitov's ability. Perella, I'm going to reject that bid. I do still need to go and offer him a new contract. I'm not sure I'll have the ability to do that yet. You need to leave it a couple of weeks before you get the opportunity to re-offer a new contract deal. I'll just confirm that by trying to do that again now. We'll have a look at the squad club. We'll go to Perella. Can I delegate a renewal? No, I can't. So once I get the opportunity, I'll actually physically negotiate that myself, considering it's just one deal, rather than doing... if I'm doing a number, I'll delegate, but I'll do that myself and ensure that we get him the right deal. But for now, it's time to go and play our first ever Premier League game. How good does it look to see the Cambridge United squad lining up like this in the Premier League graphics? Absolutely superb, and with the Premier League badge on the side of their kit as well. That's a new addition this year visually for FIFA 19. I cannot believe we managed to get ourselves to the Premier League with only one season not getting promoted. I didn't expect it to go as smoothly as it did, especially after we had an interesting first season. They're going 4-4-1-1 or 4-4-2. It's 4-4-2 for Palace. Bakambu and Salah up top. May he rest in peace. Gagliardini in the middle, as well as a couple of others that looked pretty tasty. Hopefully, Sabi's pace will be able to cause them some problems at the back. I've no idea how this season is going to go. We have been competitive against teams of this level in games that we've played so far. We kind of held our own against Manchester United, albeit a weaker Manchester United, in the Cup last season. And Wolves weren't that much better than us. They just scored an incredible goal in the Cup last year as well. In fact, that may even have been the season before, when Diogo Jota scored that incredible overhead kick. But for now, Crystal Palace look beatable. But I think every side will look at us and think that we look beatable too. Uno into Oscar Hill. Look at Matt Penny on the run. We might as well use him. He's going to be willing to get involved like that in the attacks. Then can't let him run for nothing. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked. And he's not yet back in position. Here's Cedric Bakambu. That's to Max Meyer. Here's Tolian, the right back, formerly of Dortmund. But Oscar Hill tracks back well. And now Penny is in position, but gives the ball away. Uno commits a foul, but they'll take the advantage. Tolian's cross is blocked. Mitov comes to punch and gets there well. Can Harry Wilson win that header? He can. Oh, and Sabi got to that first. Is that a foul? I'm pretty sure it should be. Harry Wilson intercepts. Oh, and skips past the defender really well. That definitely was a foul. Advantage was played, though. Mamadou Sakho up against Sabi, and Sabi gets the better of him. Looking inside for Suarez Garcia. The shot blocked. He drops to Harry Wilson, who fires wide. Changed Harry Wilson's squad number to 7 now. David Amu has lost his starting number now for the first time in this save. Just sliced that a little bit there, Harry Wilson. Forward looking for the runner, Suarez Garcia. Turns well. We use Oscar Hill first. No point rushing it forward just for the sake of rushing it forward. Go that out wide with Uno to Penny. Oscar Hill is there again. Taking my time here. Suarez Garcia. Good touch. Oscar Hill's still there. That was meant for him. But Elliot Lee will get it to Harry Wilson on his right foot. Gets it on target this time. But Waita makes the save. Corner to come in from Uno. Decent. Getraudas underneath it. We lead! That's why I don't care about his low rating. Yes, it's at the opposite end of the field that he usually plays, but we've been rock solid defensively, and now Getraudas gone up the other end and scored a belter of a header from a corner. The first goal of Cambridge United's Premier League career, scored by our best centre-back and captain of the day. Is it going to go down as an own goal? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it'll go down as his because it was on target. It has gone down as an own goal. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Getrauda. Unfortunately, he doesn't claim our first goal of our Premier League era. It goes down as a Crystal Palace own goal. That's frustrating. Never mind, we don't really care that much because we're 1-0 up in a Premier League game. And we might, through Sabi, and then maybe Suarez Garcia be about to go 2-0 up. No, but we're not. Oh, it's a corner. Okay. Maybe we will go 2-0 up. It could be Getrauder underneath. Again, it is. And on the line this time, he's able to get it away. And there's the half-time whistle. Oh, it's so close. Driving down the line. Try and take it off him, which we've done well enough. But it's dropped back to them. And Emiliano Sala scores a top draw goal into the top draw. A great strike from Emiliano Sala. Crystal Palace have equalised not long after half-time. Pick that out. I don't care whether you're Mitov at 68 rated or if his rating was 86. He still wasn't getting anywhere near that. That was a hell of a goal. That is the sort of Premier League quality we can expect on a fairly regular basis this season. We just have to try and rise to beat it, or at least compete with it in this first season. Tackle by Harry Wilson. Forward quickly to Suarez Garcia. And then back to Harry Wilson. This is a good opportunity. Max Meyer's closing me down. We're going to turn onto Wilson's left foot. That's a good delivery. Just couldn't quite pick out a teammate. Could win that header, but has it. Baraki's done well to get up and beat the man in the air. Oscar Hill trying to stand in the way of Emiliano Sala, but they're playing really nice football here, Palace. This could end in a goal. It really could. Max Meyer's got options on either side. It squares free to Bakambu, and now Crystal Palace lead. I thought I'd done enough with Perella there to stick a foot in, but unfortunately it's just squaring free. Did I get something on it there with Perella? Oh, he's just kind of squirmed under his foot. It's a great finish from Bakambu first time. Ball kind of went through his left foot there rather annoyingly, but that's just a FIFA thing. Crystal Palace have come from 1-0 down to lead by 2-1. So there to Gagliardini. Here's Tolian into Andros Townsend again. Cedric Bakambu. Townsend picked off well by Penny. Forward to Uno. Just knocked that around the corner there for Suarez Garcia, who should get to that first. Just needs Sabi to make a decent run, which he hasn't been able to do. Still try and work it around to him though. Oscar Hill into Elliot Lee. It was meant for Sabi, but now Uno can find Suarez Garcia. Is this the equaliser we've been looking for? Definitely our first goal from a Cambridge United player in the Premier League era. Suarez Garcia is the man to score it this time. Unfortunately for Getrauder, his name won't be going into the history books, but Suarez Garcia's will. Cambridge 2, Palace 2. And Suarez Garcia, that was his last action of the game. His final kick was to give us our equaliser as Javier Morales has come on in his place. Penny intercepts that well. The defender's kind of out of position. Tolian can play that down the line to Javier Morales. And I see Harry Wilson at the back post, who will look for, bring it down, turn inside, look to finesse the effort, but Baraghi tracks back. That might have been the moment to get a win in our first ever Premier League game, although an opportunity might still arise. Oscar Hill twisting one way then the other. Looking for Ziegler, who's got quite high finishing stats. Took a deflection. It will be a corner. Not had the lion's share of possession, but we could still get the victory. Where's that going? Oh. Into the ground, down and wide from Victor Perella. Gagliardini over the top looking for the runner, Kwame. Well won by Getrauder. Dominating aerially, offensively and defensively in today's game. A 2-2 draw in our first ever Premier League game. I will take that. After going 1-0 up and having it turned around to be 2-1 down, to have been able to come back from behind and nab the point, I'm not going to complain, especially when teams like Liverpool are losing 1-0 at home to West Ham on the opening day. Transfer offer for Perella again. We're certainly going to have to try and offer him that contract as soon as possible before someone activates that release clause. Elliot Bailey was the last player we trained. And to be fair, I'm probably just going to quickly train him again because it looks like he could go up a rating here and has done. Good training session throughout there, a number of stats going up. He might be well on the way to 64. Indeed, he is almost halfway now. Great. He really has such good potential, Bailey. 90 to 94 and could really become one of the best centre-backs in the game. A transfer for Giovanni Mancini, interestingly. We shall reject that, I'm afraid. Sorry, Duisburg. Or Duisburg. I don't know how to pronounce it, actually. I've never been to that area of Germany. Right. It's Watford next. That one will simulate. Hopefully by the time we get to that game, I should be able to offer Perella a new contract. And interested in Isaac Morris. I will reject that for now. He's a weird one, Morris. Wow. Well, I said I wasn't going to go for Lewis Cook. And evidently I can't know anyway, even if I wanted to, because he's going to go somewhere else. Yeah, Morris is a weird one. A loan off for Adebayo. I'm going to say no. He's going to have a part to play this season. He's definitely going to have a part to play. Yeah, let me show you Morris's stats, because he's looking like he's really growing quite well technically. In fact, he's looking incredible technically. 88 ball control, 84 crossing, 72 curve, 80 finishing, 81 short pass. His long passing is 73, but he's still only 74 rated. He's got low strength. Acceleration is 82, which is good. Sprint speed is 75. 75 agility as well. Technically, he's looking very, very handy though. 5-star weak foot 2. If those physicals improve, he could be a decent player for us, but those physicals do need to improve for him to be able to stand a chance of playing even remotely regular first team football for me. Can I now offer Perella a new contract? No, I can't. Fine. Well, let's simulate the game against Watford and see if we can get ourselves anything from our second Premier League game. They lost 1-0 to Spurs on the opening day. It looks like a relatively strong starting 11 from them, with Dominic Calvert-Lewin on the bench. I don't know who Dahlberg is, their goalkeeper. Goodell, the midfielder, is decent. Sema is pretty decent, isn't he? I don't know anything about Casiera. Sabali's an okay wing-back. Dariyamba obviously is very solid, although probably in his early 30s now, so what his rating is I'm not sure. But it's the second point, and our first clean sheet in the Premier League. Take that, meat of haters. 68 rated, gets a clean sheet in his second ever Premier League game. Bailey was the last one we trained, so we'll move on to Lewis Baker, and he's going to get a little bit closer to being 66 rated now. I did say, and I've meant to do this for a number of episodes now, that I would go through and show you the potential of all of the youngsters. So what I'll do, can I sort by their age? Right, let's sort by age, and then, or is that going to move them back again? No, okay, so they're sorted by, are they sorted by age still? Or is that the other way round? No, they are sorted by age. Okay, good. So let me scroll to the bottom and I'll show you what their status is with regards to their potential future, but they're still not sorted by age. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Are they sorted by squad rating? Apparently so. Uno still showing great potential. Perella, an exciting prospect. Sabi has that special something apparently, although he's only 77 rated and not a regen. Gerzic is an exciting prospect. Ziegler similarly. Suarez Garcia is just at the club apparently. Moreles has potential to be special. We know for a fact that his potential is 92 to 94. Elliot Lee's an exciting prospect. Morris's contract's expiring soon, so we'll have to offer him a new one. Similarly with Penny. Great potential is Oscar Hill. Exciting prospect for Adebayo. Mancini's great potential. An exciting prospect for Monnier. Potential. Contract expiring. Exciting prospect. Potential to be special for Cameron Lee, the left back. That says early 90s for me. Similarly for Lewis Baker. And Greg Taylor's retiring at the end of the season. No, Greggy T. He's going to leave us and retire from the game. Right, I will offer those contracts around shortly, hoping for those scout reports to come back soon. A £15.8 million bid for Elliot Lee. Clearly he is drawing attention from some of the sides elsewhere in Europe. That was Braga from Portugal. I'm just desperately hoping that no one triggers Perella's release clause before I'm able to offer him a new contract. Borja Mayoral has gone to Inter Milan. We have 3 emails there. One's a loan offer for Clouthy that I will actually accept. LAFC, we'll see if he gets any first team football over there in MLS. Right, I'm going to go and sort those contracts out. If I can offer Perella one, I will. If not, I will see you in the game against Manchester United. That's the wrong player. Aha! Right, Man United squad. Sergio Romero in goal. Godoy, Ake, Smalling and Mitchell. In the midfield, McTominay, Garner and Fred. Right, so the opposition certainly aren't, Torgan Hazard, Wilson and Martial, the opposition certainly aren't taking me strongly enough or seriously enough in games against the larger sides, what I will have to do for future games is what people like DK Sparring do, and actually trigger a second controller and manually select my opposition's best 11 players for that game, because otherwise we'll end up with, you know, not the most realistic of starting lineups from the opposition, and in theory then an easier game. So well, to be fair, they started this sort of side against us last time we played them United in the Cup, and they still came away with a victory against me by 3-1, I think. But I'd still like to think that they should be playing players like Pogba and David De Gea, etc., against me, regardless of the fact that we've just been promoted from the Championship. They would do in real life, so they should do on FIFA as well. We'll have to wait and see if the starting line that they've put out against us this time is good enough, as it was last. But like I say, for future games, I will make sure that my Premier League opposition put out their best possible side. Harry Wilson could dink this over the top, looking for Sabi, who could get to that header Chris Smalling. He's certainly going to have the pace to get away from him. And we'll look inside. I think actually Suarez Garcia was just offside there. Harry Wilson will pick up the loose ball though. 88 long shots! Welcome to the Premier League, Harry fucking Wilson. Wow. It was 88 long shots. It might have gone up since then. Big questions asked of the goalkeeper there. Hacked away by the defender. Just gets there ahead of the midfielder. And to be fair, I think it's just hit that well from Harry Wilson. Good angle for it here. Big power. It's rising, rising, rising. Yeah, there's nothing the keeper can do about that. That is a truly world-class goal. Cambridge 1, Manchester United 0. Even De Gea wouldn't have gotten to that. Here's James Wilson looking for Fred, but picked off. That goal from Wilson is exactly the sort of goal we've been seeing him score for Derby in real life this year. That and the occasional belting free kick as well. Elliot Lee out wide looking for Penny here. Uno is making that run down the line, and he's in behind Godoy, and the cross comes in, and Sammy could be underneath that. 96 jumping. Emmanuel Sabi makes it Cambridge 2, Manchester United 0, and we're still only in the 17th minute. This is exactly why the AI sides should be playing their best possible team against me, and why in future I certainly will be manually selecting the opposition's teams. Unfortunately, it's just something that happens in FIFA 19, and don't worry, people like DK and Cutsy and a couple of others, including myself, have mentioned it to the devs via the Game Changer program for either a patch, well, probably not a patch in FIFA 19 at this stage, but for FIFA 20 to hopefully see that sort of issue resolved. Obviously, it's been a problem in career mode for a few years now, as have a number of other issues, but now that the Game Changers program is in full swing, hopefully we should see those sort of issues start to be ironed out. We'll find out in FIFA 20 whether they're actually listening to us, won't we? 27th minute, still Cambridge 2, United 0. Suarez Garcia with the tackle. Harry Wilson's out wide. I'm going to cut back inside on that left and look to bend it. Ooh, not far wide at all. 89 long shots on Harry Wilson now. I did just check in game. 89 long shots. That's why that one that went into the top corner was struck so sweetly. I don't know what Godoy's doing there, the defender. Uno will drill this into the middle. It very nearly deflected straight to Emmanuel Sabi. And we scored from a corner against Palace. Can we do it against United? Sabi's up. That's dreamy. That's such a good header. Yes, I will most certainly be manually selecting teams, starting 11 for the big teams at the very least from here on out. Don't worry, this won't be happening again. Throw down the line there to Torgan Hazard. Great footwork to get past me, but the ball in is poor. Uno. Oh, the heavy touch has actually worked in his favour there, as Godoy can't stay with me. And through that gap is Suarez Garcia. Is this a fourth? Sergio Romero, what are you doing? That's straight at him. It's not even a good shot. It's lovely work by Uno, and that ball is brilliant. But what is the keeper doing there? He's coming towards his chest, and he's almost moved out of the way of it. Look at that. Oh, it's terrible goalkeeping. awful goalkeeping. I can't wait to go back. And for every single game from now on out in the Premier League, I'm certainly selecting the AI's lineup for them.
Excellent interception.
Uno. Garcia. Sabi from the edge of the box. Wilson. Duck on his left just to make sure. There's a fifth. I'm not going to say it again. Cambridge 5, Manchester United 0. Yeah. Here's De La Fayette to Fred. Back to Joe De La Fayette. Out to Martial. It's gone back to Pogba there when De La Fayette was easily able to be played in. Penny wins that header. It'll drop here to Mitchell. Pogba could still cause us problems. Martial. Good delivery. Oh. Foul? I didn't think I got anywhere near Martial there. He'll take the free kick himself. Man in the middle had just misjudged the header. Barella did misjudge that. It's to be a corner. Let's see what we can do from here. Can we clear the ball away and keep a clean sheet? It looks like it. Wilson will head away, and I'm pretty sure the ref will blow his whistle now. Please. Thank you. We'll brush that under the carpet and make sure that it never happens again. Back to the transfer window, though, to try and get ourselves a new centre mid and a new goalkeeper. Transfer offer for Jaden Bogle of £9.2 million, which we shall reject. Still quite happy for him to continue on as my starting wing-back. We've Sunderland in the Cup, actually, now. In the Carabao Cup, the second round of which Clouchy's rejected the move to LAFC. That's intriguing. Gertruida, an offer for him that we should be rejecting from Boca Juniors. We would like to go on a bit of a cup run. We should be able to compete against Sunderland as well. It's going to be a case of actually taking the cup kind of seriously this year. More so the FA Cup. Baker was the one I just took out. More so the FA Cup than the Carabao Cup, purely because there's more money available and it's more prestigious. But a good cup run in either competition would certainly help boost our overall rating with the board and, crucially, our transfer budget for next season as well. And that could be crucial with regards growing the side further than it currently is. We have enough this window to make significant changes to the starting 11, but I'm limiting myself to just the two positions where I feel like I need to improve. Everywhere else, I'm quite happy to let everyone that's kind of earned their way up to the Premier League throughout the seasons have their chance in their first season. So hopefully keep us in the Premier League. We've certainly had a good start to the season, and looks like this one might be going to penalties, as we've already scored one with Suarez Garcia in open play, then picks up a knock, but unfortunately we lose on spot kicks to Sunderland. Not to worry, hopefully Suarez Garcia isn't out injured for too long. Javier Morales can step in for him, and 7 days is fine. We've had a game against Liverpool rescheduled, presumably that's because of their European commitments. Currently fourth in the Premier League after 3 games, but that will change, I'm sure. Nottingham Forest up next, the side that came up via the playoffs last year. Still waiting for those scout reports to come back though. Thankfully, as was the case last year, international breaks won't affect us this year, because as was the case in the Championship, you do get an international break in the top 2 divisions in England, whereas you don't in Leagues 1 and 2, which is something we suffered with in the first 3 seasons of the save. We were in League 2 for 2 years and League 1 for a season. Savi gives us a 1-0 lead, but Hugma before us pulls them back before half-time. Lolly comes off the bench and literally 60 seconds later gets himself injured, but he's going to have to carry on for the time being. And is it to be another draw in the Premier League for us? No, it's to be our first defeat in the Premier League. Hugma, the centre-back, with a brace, and it's defeat against Nottingham Forest. Now, I need those scout reports back, please, if you don't mind, scouts. There's not long left now between us and transfer deadline day, and I certainly hate to think that one of our potential targets gets snapped up by someone else before we have the opportunity to try and buy them ourselves. I'll give it till deadline day. Transfer offer for Uno of 16.8 million. I have been able to offer Perella a new contract, by the way, and I've thrown contract offers in with a couple of the other youngsters as well that were only on minimal wages, or like 440 grand a week. £440 a week, sorry, 440 grand a week. What? That's Ridiculous. Yeah, so these scout reports haven't come back yet. It said 24 days, 30 days ago. Clearly my scouts are terrible. Not sure about Henderson, you know. They don't look too impressive stats, to be honest. They're even worse for Peacock Farrell, so we'll remove him. Joel Pereira. Diving's terrible. Positioning's better. Reflexes are better. Kicking is a stat I'm not really bothered about. Handling's better. He's currently front runner ahead of Henderson. Macy, that's a no. Angus Gunn, maybe. Although again, positioning's very low. That's probably a no as well. But Danny Ward, that's a no. Well, considering he was by far the most popular in the comment section. Do I go for Angus Gunn instead? Angus Gunn was quite popular too. I might go for Gunn over Henderson, you know. Now, with diving being as high as it is, that hopefully will make up for his lack of positioning. I'm going to try and sign Dean Henderson. He was easily the most suggested goalkeeper in the comment section. He should be available for, well, I mean, I'll offer what he's valued at, and we'll see if they'll just accept that straight off the bat. I perhaps could have offered maybe 7 million. They might have accepted it. Okay, no, they do want to negotiate slightly. That's fine. I certainly don't want to pay that much. Will you accept 9.5? Certainly not, I wouldn't have thought, but they might come down a significant amount. No, okay, 14.9 seems to be what they want for him. I'll offer 11. We have the money to be able to negotiate like this, so, ugh. If they don't come back to me on deadline day, I'll be livid. Right, Declan Rice. Good tackling stats, good in the pass, very, very promising. I like the look of Declan Rice. Gendouzi. Don't know what his overall rating is. His stat. Oh, hello. Physicals don't look that good. He does look like he's going to be one of those clunky players. Oh wow! I just noticed Declan Rice's agility and balance. Not sure anymore. That's a no. Sorry, Matt Smith. Jones. Still think it's going to be Tom Davies at this stage. Cameron Brannigan. Yeah, that's a no. Gibbs White. Still a potential. Maitland-Niles. Good physicals. Ooh, short passing's very high. And he can play in a number of positions. Maitland-Niles might be a good shout, you know. Maitland-Niles might be a good shout. He's in with a chance. At the minute, it's Maitland-Niles or Tom Davies, I think. Lewis Cook, we decided we weren't going to go for. Although he's just moved to Leicester, so we can't get him anyway. Ryan Ledson, that's definitely a no. McTominay was a no. Amos was a no. And Hinkle was a player I was interested in, but it doesn't look like he's grown that well. It's still rather average overall, not really exceeded expectation. McGinn does look half decent, but there's certainly better options available to us. Yeah. We'll go with Tom Davies, I think. Because those technicals are pretty damn good. And because he's got really good passing, good dribbling, and he's okay in the tackle, he should hopefully complement Oscar Hill well enough in the centre of midfield. I'd like to think. We'll offer a transfer fee. I'll offer 30 just straight up and see what they say. They're probably not going to accept that. They want 40. That's certainly agreeable. But we do have to bear in mind that we still have the goalkeeper to bring in as well. So I don't want to spend all of my money. 34, they'll accept. Right, okay. Looks like Tom Davies should be coming to us. And what's he on a week currently? 34.5. Obviously, that's nothing in Premier League terms. So I'm not sure if he'd be willing to take a wage drop. Obviously, he's going to take a crucial squad role because he's going to be the best and most highest rated player at the club. I'll try and get him on as long a contract as possible. I was able to get 5 years for Perella, actually, which is good. He's now locked at the club for a very considerable period of time. No release clauses, fine by me. Hopefully they'll give me an idea of what they want wage-wise. He wants me to double his wages. Okay. What I'll do is I'll leave the bonuses because they're not massive, but I will drop the wages considerably to 47,000. 70. How about 50? We'll try and get him 62. Yeah, that's okay. I'll do 62. Considering he's going to be the highest rated player at the club, I could probably stretch like that. Right, hopefully we'll get word back about Dean Henderson before the end of transfer deadline day. Hopefully I don't have to advance today to find out about that. There we go. They have told us now that the offer was unacceptable, so we should still be able to get Henderson in. Penny will reject that offer, and they will again want 14.9. I'm not just going to blindly pay it, because we might want to leave ourselves some money in January just in case things aren't going as well as they potentially could be. I'll offer 13. Still leaves us a reasonable amount of money, depending on what Henderson wants wage-wise. Not sure what he's on. Doesn't say what his weekly wages are. Not sure what sort, because he's at Manchester United. Even though he's nowhere near the first team, he might still be on a decent amount. I'll say important. He'll will obviously be crucial, but just to try and keep him happy. If Mitov wants to play the odd game, or I want Mitov to play the odd game. Again, though, trying to keep everybody at the club for as long as possible, and he's happy to accept 5 years, which is good. No release clause again is good with me, and 47.5 grand is okay. Although, if we can get him to sign for say 30, then that leaves us a decent amount, about £8,060,000 in the budget. Right. Right. I'll give it until like hour 5, and I hope I'm able to go back in from again. If not, might have just paused that up. I am going to need some money available for January though, just in case we need it to try and force results to stay up, because we don't know how this season's going to go, especially if I'm going to be manually selecting teams for the opposition. It's definitely going to get a lot harder. Can I go in for Henderson again? It's not going to let me, is it? Right. I think it's going to be Angus Gunn then. I thought I'd have leeway to actually have a little bit of negotiation. I didn't think they'd just get up and walk away. I'll just accept that. I'm slightly nervous now about letting that one fall through as well. That's really frustrating. I genuinely thought they'd negotiate from there. I really did. Sorry for the abrupt cut. The plumber was here doing some work and he just hollered up the stairs that he'd finished. I can't remember where I was. I was talking about someone's physicals. It might have been Declan Rice actually. Transfer for Harrison. I'm still intrigued to see how he grows. He's 70 rated now, but in game again, he's really not that enjoyable to play with. Still offers for Emmanuel Sabi, and again, the caliber of team that are coming in for him certainly shows how effective his gameplay has been. He's still only 77 rated, but he's attracting interest from some big teams. So that clearly shows, just how good he genuinely is. I can only apologise about the Dean Henderson thing. Sometimes players do that, they just walk away, but it's very rare. I fully expected them. Like, if I negotiated Tom Davies from 70 down to like 30 something, or 70 down to 40 and dropped it by 30k, then I would have thought surely Dean Henderson would have been more than open to negotiating from where we went. Evidently I was mistaken, and I can't tell you how frustrating it is that that's actually happened. Tom Davies now though into the squad, and subsequently then into the starting lineup for Elliot Lee. Oh man, I think I'm just pissed off that even happened in the first place, let alone the fact that it was my doing. Let me know in the comment section if that's happened to you. If you have players just outright refuse to negotiate at all and just walk away, it's very, very rare that it happens. We'll have a quick rundown of what's happened in the Premier League, because obviously it's a big money spent, almost 900 million spent on deadline day. Jamal Lascelles and Danny Carvajal are in at Arsenal, with Hector Bellerin going out. Brighton have spent £75 million as well. We've spent 45 and made £13 million worth of profit, which, well, to be fair, profit of 13 million, that's about what we had in every other window combined in the previous 4 seasons. That's how much our finances have improved in the Premier League. Cardiff not doing much finance-wise, but obviously player number-wise, a few have gone out. Benton Core was 90 million for Chelsea. They've also signed Eder Militao as centre-back and Celik as well. And they've let go Bakayoko, Saracchi and Hudson-Odoi is left. Basali and... Bascagli, actually, it might be Bascagli. I think... No, it's the Argentinian. It's Tagliafico that's the hard G, isn't it? Because he's Argentinian, even though he's playing in Italy. So it is a soft G. So it's Basali or Bascagli in Italy. Now Crystal Palace, obviously. Lemos in as well, the centre-back. Zikia out for them. Everton have spent 123 million. Didn't expect that, did you? Not really. Notoriously high spenders, Everton. Well, clearly signed Ryan Sessegnon for £60.2 million from Fulham. That's where the bulk of that money was. Huddersfield have barely done anything. Leicester have spent 111 million and made 40. Liverpool have signed, I presume, Iñaki Williams. That's a complete guess. And Michi Batshuayi as well. Kasper Dolberg has left them for 62.9 million. And as you can see there, Manchester City have sold Kevin De Bruyne. Not sure where he's gone. Anton, Sant-Maximin and Barella in at Manchester United, with Dalot going out. Newcastle have spent a fair amount of money as well. Forest have done a little bit. Hugma coming in, the guy that just scored 2 goals against us and won the game for them. Southampton with a lot of business. A lot of business, although Angus Gunn coming to me was one of them. For now, that's where De Bruyne has gone then. De Bruyne has gone to Tottenham with Christian Eriksen leaving. Big moves in this window. Massive moves. Kelechi in at Watford with Kelly. Lacazette into West Ham, but not direct from Arsenal. So Lacazette's obviously moved elsewhere to then come in there. Eriksen's gone to Barcelona for 81.8. Bentancur to Chelsea for 90.9. And Talisca for 96.6 are the biggest deals of the window. I will quickly show you the... Actually, let's just 100% make sure that the window is finished before I show you the rest. And now when my scout reports come back. Cheers, game. Why say scout report back in 24 days if it's going to take 30 days for the scout report to come back? That's infuriating. Regardless, I think I'm just taking up my annoyance at myself with the Dean Henderson thing. They're the 3 biggest deals. Arkadiusz Milik to... Arkadiusz Milik... I never know how to pronounce his bloody first name. To Hoffenheim for 72.3. Surprising. Have a look at his bio. He's 86 rated, to be fair, with 92 finishing. Perhaps you can understand that. De Bruyne, at 31 years of age and 90 rated to Tottenham for 70.6. Patrick Cutrone to Atletico Madrid. He's now 87 rated in the save. Wow. Wesley from Napoli to Real Madrid. Kasper Dolberg to Napoli from Liverpool. He's 85 rated. Barella in there. Sanabria to Barcelona from Inter. James Maddison to Wolfsburg from Southampton. Ryan Sessegnon, who's now 84 rated, to Everton. Ruben Neves to Stuttgart. It was Iñaki Williams to Liverpool. 85 rated striker. Rodri to Stuttgart. Any other big ones? Wendell. He looks really good, actually, Wendell. I know nothing of him, but he's grown incredibly well in this save. Paco Alcacer has gone to Leipzig. Patrick Schick to AC Milan. Lafont to Real Madrid. He was a relatively popular option for me to sign a goalkeeper, but would have been out of my price range, and I wouldn't have signed an 86 rated player in my first year in the Premier League anyway. Lenglet has gone to Lyon. Balde Keita, or Keita Balde, to Dortmund. Fornals there to Tottenham, as we saw. Janko to Inter. And there's Eder Militao. He is 84 rated currently in this save for £41.8 million. Sant-Maximin to Manchester United, as we saw. Lacazette's gone from Real Madrid. From Real Madrid to West Ham United. Ridiculous. Danny Carvajal from Real to Arsenal. Akanji's gone to Atletico Madrid. Bakayoko went back to Monaco. Tom Davies. Yay, there's by far the biggest deal that we've ever done. Benjamin Pavard has gone to Real Betis. Saracchi into Bayern from Chelsea. Di Matta to Newcastle. Aubameyang to Ajax. 84 rated 33-year-old Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to Ajax from Atletico Madrid. None of those looking as we thought they might do. I'm going to go and have a look at all these scout reports and then probably realise that I might have made a different signing at centre mid. I'm sure Tom Davies will be incredible. I'm actually genuinely quite happy with that signing. But tomorrow we shall take on Brighton, Liverpool and Arsenal, and I'll make sure that Liverpool and Arsenal play their strongest teams. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on any further content. still pissed off at Dean Henderson for just walking away from negotiations and not negotiating at all. Half of my brain's just like, fine, I didn't want you anyway, but that's kind of did, really. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.